Good afternoon, good people. This is your host, Calvin Anderson, for the Check In With podcast. We are on season 3, and today's guest is an inspiring powerhouse, a coach, a dancer, and a relentless motivator. She launched her personal training business in 2011 and expanded online in 2016 to become a holistic coach. In 2021, she added life coaching to her impressive repertoire. As the founder of the Body Project, Melody is passionate about helping others transform not just their bodies, but their entire lives. She leads retreats, she manages wellness-focused properties and property business, and even takes on project management roles as a project manager, all while serving as a corporate well-being coach and a fierce advocate for mental health. And if that wasn't enough, she runs a side business as a dog behaviorist because, yes, she really does do it all. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to dive into a conversation filled with energy, insight, and authenticity. And let's welcome Miss Melody Coleman. Melody, how are you?
Did you ask ChatGPT for that? The magician never reveals his secrets.
We never do we? But thank you for guessing. Melody, it's an honor to have you here. I've heard so much, I've experienced so much, and to have you in person today is, the legend is true, as they would say.
Meet your idols, man. You're going to be sorely disappointed when you find out I'm a regular human.
Give us, from obviously the introduction, you do so much. Why? I want to ask first and foremost, why is there so many aspects to Miss Coleman?
I do what I love and I do what I'm good at. Have you heard of the Japanese concept of ikigai? So for any listeners who haven't come across that, I would recommend it as a tool to work out how you want to spend your one precious life. You write out 4 circles, like a Venn diagram, intersecting, and we start with, what is it you're going to have to help me here? What you're good at, what you love, what the world needs,
Yeah.
and what you can get paid for. You find the intersection between all 4 of these things. So that's me. I really have selfishly and selflessly, kind of goes hand in hand when you get it right, spent my life in the pursuit of well-being. The best way I can describe it is I create environments where people thrive, internal and external environments. And honestly, I do that so that I can have access to the information, the time as a self-employed individual, although that's not always a reality.
Talk to me on the corporate side of well-being and how that differs from it being just from, I don't know, working in like a local gym or somewhere like that. What's the difference in terms of the well-being aspect? Is it the same? Is there more pressure on you? Like, is there more kind of focus or a different focus?
Compared to working in a local gym, I've never really done working in a local gym. I've been self-employed my entire career. Yeah, I've dropped in at the deep end, and the first 3 months was hairy. Sink or swim. First month, no clients. Second month, no clients. Third month, and in the gym, I'm paying rent to be there. They start you off on a sliding scale, so you've got a bit of time. Third month, it's like, so I've paid a lot of money to be here already. And then my first 3 clients came along all at once, and from there. So in terms of how it differs, finding corporate work is different in the sense that, pardon me, the contract looks different. It's not a one-to-one basis. It's a B2B rather than B2. It's a way to do what I do with individuals on a grander scale. So no, the problems aren't really different because the client is the same. Instead of having one person who works for PwC and wears posture altering footwear and sits in a chair all day and is subject to X, Y, and Z culture in their workplace, working corporate gives me the challenge of working with a number of individuals, the benefit of working with a group on that, and the opportunity to take cultures that challenge people, that create negative outcomes for people's mental and physical well-being, turn that on its head from the inside out. It feels more, I started my own business long before I started doing corporate work.
How is running your own business been for you? How's that journey been?
How's that journey been? Okay, are we going to go there? Oh my God.
Would you like to go there?
I don't know that it's relevant.
Maybe in terms of as you said, in terms of like the self-employed, there was no clients, no clients, and then gradually you started to. Then you decided, okay, I'm gonna actually do this thing. Maybe
Mm.
talk about the resilience and perseverance it took to say, yeah, I'm starting this company, I'm starting this organization, and
I think what I had on my side was the optimism that can only come with youth. That's a nice way of saying I was naive to what was in front of me and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I'm like a dog with a bone with something, and when I really, really want to do something, and it was so connected to my values, so connected to my goals, it's work that I enjoyed. You just make it work. You just find a way. I feel like I've been dancing 5 or 6 years now. I started late 2019. So you can imagine how I spent my lockdowns,
in that,
self-teaching indoors.
yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, so you're a dancer," I suppose in the sense that I dance, but my friends are like dancers. They are paid by Stormzy. That's what I see as a dancer. I'm not dancing at professional level yet.
What made you decide that dancing was another journey you wanted to go?
I've always wanted to dance. Maybe an element of naivety there as well, and knowing what my skills are, knowing what lights me up. I've been really fortunate in being able to follow what excites me in life. And I do need to remember that as I get older and responsibilities grow and all the
Yeah.
rest of it.
Mm.
There is something so energizing about doing what lights you up that allows you to do so much more than you otherwise would do. Dancing is something that I always felt like I would be good at. And I was just focused on other things. Maybe my teenage years were a bit rocky. My years were spent building my business, and I spent all of my time on that. It's up early, home late, working 6, sometimes 7 days a week. When the work is there, you take it. I was tired. Yeah, the opportunities just didn't really come around. And then it was after I left a long-term relationship in 2018. It took me a couple of full starts, and then I just thought, what am I waiting for? So I started dancing like age 28. So I'm around these people that have a lifetime of dance under their belt.
Yeah.
They went to musical theatre school. Those are dancers. I'm just cutting the shapes. I'm just trying to
You're
keep
just
up.
cutting the shapes. Melody, what kind of dancer do you want to be?
What kind of dancer do I want to be? It's more about how I want to feel.
Give me that. How do you want to feel as a dancer?
I want to feel free. I want to feel fully self-expressed. I want to feel confident. And I say this like I don't already feel these things. That is what dance makes me feel. And the more competence I gain, the more I get to feel that, and the more consistently I get to feel that. There's a state of flow that one can enter into with dance
Mm.
that does require a level of competence. Like you start in the delusional stage, Maslow's hierarchy of competence. I've heard of that. I love a concept. So what is it? Unconscious incompetence.
Yeah.
Amazing. Live your best life in the club. Yeah, I can do this. Then you start to get to this conscious level of incompetence. That's a harder time to have fun. It's a really hard time to have fun. If you can push past that, and that part will always be there. You're always going to be a beginner in something. Salsa is a completely different discipline from hip hop.
100%.
You know, once you can get back to a place of unconscious competence or conscious competence, even that would be good. And that's good for me.
Mm.
Yeah, that flow.
What styles are you drawn to?
What styles am I drawn to? Okay, there is about the music and it's about the people. So in terms of styles that I'm drawn to, styles that I find myself drawn to, use music that I love, more R&B than hip hop, more soul than funk. I like a lot of different music. I really, really do. And they have great people dancing them, cool people that I like to spend time with and have a laugh with. And I also gravitate to styles that work with my way of moving as a person. For example, I'm pretty good at like doing really fluid movement, but I'm not the strongest mover. And I'm not the most explosive. Like anytime I've practiced house, it's been struggling. It's been really hard. I'm driven to work on my weaknesses, and at the same time, I do love to live my best life, like in a heels class or something flowy and contemporary.
Your weaknesses, pushing your boundaries. Tell me how you do that with a private client when it comes to being a PT.
How to push a person's boundaries. It's a good question, but it's quite broad because there are lots of different ways to look at it. So, for example, great programming pushes boundaries in a systematic way. There's a principle called progressive overload, which is kind of the done thing in training. There are different ways to look at it, but ultimately, you want to be doing a little bit more this time than you did last time. That might be a slightly heavier weight. It might be more reps. It might be an extra set. That's more workout volume. It might be done with more intensity, more speed, done for longer, planking for 90 seconds instead of 70 this time. Progressive overload is gradually pushing a person outside of their current comfort zone, if you will.
Mm.
So great programming will do that. And then as a coach, it takes some time to get an eye for when a person is in the zone of gains. The way I describe it to some clients is, okay, I'm giving you 8 to 12 reps. It wants to be heavy enough that you can manage 8, or not so heavy that you can't manage 8, and heavy enough for 12 to be a challenge, but you couldn't really do more than 1 or 2 extra if you really, really had to. So sometimes that's how we find the sweet spot. And you start to get an eye for when a person is making progress. I say to clients that the last 3 or 4 reps, the really, really struggly ones, are the ones that you're aiming for. And very often that's where people will stop. So they'll get to their 8 and they'll be like, well, I've ticked the box, I've done the thing. You've done your 8 reps that have got you to the edge of your boundary, of your comfort zone. Now the next 1 to 4 are going to be the ones that help you progress, that help you see the result. You have to go to those hard places. So seeing a person go to that hard place and know that you're not overtraining them. Then there's framing. There's the mental side of it. To push a person's boundary, you can increase a person's capacity just by the way that you frame something. If someone walks in and I know they're not ready for a challenge, I know they're a shy character, you get to know your clients on a really, really intimate level. You get to know personality types, you see their responses to things, you get an intuition for this thing. If someone comes in and you know they're not one to be pushed easily, they're quite cautious in the gym, and you go, I've got a toughie for you today, you're going to struggle here. That's going to make that type of person bulk. And they expect to go in and struggle. And they find the workout harder. On the other hand, a different personality type might come in and they're maybe a little bit more like me, where I like something to sink my teeth into. If I come in and my PT, I have a coach as well. He says, oh, this is going to be a real challenge today. I'm like, time, let's go. So you can use you can have different responses to the same framing and the same language, or you can change your framing to suit the client. People also often have a terrible perception of what they're capable of. So if I've spent a few weeks with a client, I had this today with my PT. He gives me an exercise and I'm like, oh, I'm really going to struggle with this, It was fine. I just hadn't done that exercise in a long time. I hadn't done it in the exact way that he'd given it to me. And I was like, no. And then we did it and it was like, fine. And I get it so often with clients. I give them something that they're like, are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Trust yourself. And it's not until they've done the set that they learn to trust themselves. Yeah. So pushing a person's boundaries feels nebulous and it's just iterative and it's trial and error. You just have an encouraging way. I mean, if you're a coach who's never had a coach, you're not really broadening your mind as far as I can see. Because I'm really, really good at what I do. I know lots. I have lots of experience. I've coached lots of different types of people for lots of different types of goals. And still, the moment we get to the point where we think we know it all is not a good moment. That's not a good moment for growth. It's not a good moment for our clients. Sometimes my clients are like, they're really surprised. They're like, you've got a coach, but I thought you knew everything. Kind of, or that's not what they say, but I can see that's kind of where they're at. Yeah. I'm like, well, of course I do. Why would I want to be the coach and the athlete in the same session? It's great. I can write my own program, but I'm subject to my own biases. I'm humble enough to admit that. Yeah. I have coaches for business. I have many, many coaches for dance. I have a personal training coach, all sorts, life coach, therapist. I actually have 2 therapists for different things. I use them more as coaches now. I've been in therapy for a long time. Early lockdown, I think I started. Yeah. 5 years? Yeah. I'm terrified she's going to retire and leave me.
What do you mean?
Oh, my therapist is so cool. She's wise. I think she's like in her 60s kind of thing. She's a wonderful, calm energy. And we don't go in and do like typical therapy. It's more like just a chat. And it's like speaking to your auntie who's she's had her feet on this planet enough time for me in my 30-something years of wisdom to go in and go, "Oh my God, I'm really struggling with this. And what does this person mean by that?" And she's like, "Hmm." And she'll just give me this she'll let me talk, hear me out, and then she'll give me this insight. She'll ask a question like, "Well, does he so and so, or is she from blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "How did you know?" She's just a wise woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're giving me therapy questions. Who's she become? She has become she's an island, an oasis. She's outside of my network. She doesn't know anybody that I know. She's impartial. I can share what I wouldn't otherwise share, free from judgment, genuinely free from judgment. You try a few therapists before you find the one that lands. She's sage. That's how I would describe her.
Okay.
Deborah. We call her Big D. Heavy D up in the limousine.
The one thing you're going to know about Melody is that she is very quick and, makes jokes for days. Since she came in, we've just been laughing the
Oh
whole time.
no. I hope they're not in poor taste.
No, they've been great. Great taste. So the journey has been an eventful one, Melody. Give me, advice would you give to younger you who hasn't started the journey you're on now?
This sometimes. In what context? Business, training,
Can-
dance. In business, I hate to say it, deprioritize romantic relationships. You're young, you've got so much time. Establish yourself. Continue to be aggressive in the way that you pursue your goals. Say no more. If it doesn't align, don't try and bend over backwards. Don't try and be super helpful. Obviously, don't not try to be helpful, but if it's a no, it's a no, and you need to say it sooner rather than wasting everyone's time, especially your own, because time is precious. Training, you don't need to try so hard. You don't need to be the best. You don't need to kill yourself in the gym. You don't need to be broken. You don't need to do 4-hour sessions. You can if you like, but you don't have to do that every Friday. Consistency is key, and it's easy to burn out by trying to achieve too much too soon. So just give your body time. Sleep all your sleeps, eat all your nutrition,
Okay.
consume all your calories.
Yeah.
And then in dance, man, I haven't danced in a while. Oh, like a month? I mean, I dance at home. Why walk when you could dance, right?
Very
But
true.
I mean, formally. There was a time where I was dancing every day, and I really have, at the moment, just with the stage that I'm in, have to remind myself to go back to that state of mind where you have to be so humble. You have to really embrace the humility of being rubbish to start off with. You have to push through that. There's no other way. Keep going.
What would you tell future you?
All anyone can really say, I think, is that they're doing their best. I would hate for that to sound like an excuse.
Sense.
Well, it says, oh, I did my best. Am I doing my best? I ask myself that a lot.
Are you doing your
Could I be
best?
doing better? I think I'm spinning plates at the moment. I've got a lot of stuff going on. Quite typical for me,
Yeah.
right? And if I look at my life as a whole, I'm prioritizing the right things
Right.
on a long-term scale. And that, unfortunately, heartbreakingly means dance has taken a little bit of a hit in the last few weeks.
Mogul, an entrepreneur. Wow. Okay. My next question for you is, with all these different hats that you wear and all these different spaces and managing all these different people who have different personality traits and different things that you take on a daily basis, what is,
One of my biggest challenges in life is relaxing. I love meditation. It's the most powerful practice I've ever started. Another thing that I do that kind of calms the fire but also fuels it is a journaling prompt that I do every night. Wins, wants, and sometimes I'll do next steps and things to avoid. But I have to do my wins and I have to do my wants. Wins could be small. I remember when I was in a really bad place, I first started doing this journaling prompt and it genuinely changed my life. Coach of mine put me onto it actually. Big up Earl. The wins were got out of bed, cooked a meal, went for a walk, and that's all I managed. I was just congratulating myself for that, like a genuine celebration, a genuine pat on the back. And like I said to you earlier, you'd really be surprised how that grows, because in 6 months, I achieved goals that I had set for myself that I didn't think I would achieve in a lifetime. Celebrate the wins is essentially practicing gratitude or similar. I made a point of using the right language,
Mm.
especially when it comes to wants. First of all, celebrating the correct win. We spoke about dog training, right?
Yes.
When the dog does something that I want it to do, I give it a treat.
Yeah.
And you just ignore the rest unless it's really, really bad, and then you start to intervene.
Mm.
I did the same with myself. Whenever I did a good thing, I gave myself a little dopamine kick for it by writing it in my diary. You can train yourself at work. Concentration kind of comes and goes for
Mm.
me, especially if the task is a bit dull. And so with my snacks, I'll have a little snack or I'll have a little treat to train my brain as a reward for doing that task. Being really specific in my language for my wants. So instead of saying, let me think of an example. Instead of saying, I want to lose 2 kilos, I might say, want the perspective
Mm.
and the discipline to maintain clean nutrition so that I can lose 2 kilos. Language is so, so important. And I'm not just thinking of the thing that I want, I'm thinking of how to get there. What do I need in place to get that? Changed my life, genuinely.
Like you said, in 6 months, you were able to achieve so much. And I know you'll continue to achieve much greater. So I look forward to that.
You're really on the road now. Once you've got momentum, it's hard to slow down.
Gem. Do you normally just come up with gems like that?
It's pointed out quite a lot, yeah.
Hence why you are life coach, PT, property, project manager, all these different things.
They're not just Instagram quotables, that's my genuine mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just how I think.
Did you always think that way? Or was there a specific time in your life where it kind of shifted into that pattern?
It's been hardworking. No, I think it compounds over time, and I think it's a result of surrounding myself with the right people, people who inspire me, people who are where I want to be in 2, 5, 10, 20 years' time. Coaching, like I'm quite a self-motivated learner, so I read all the right books to give me the right mindset.
Yeah.
It's all about what you surround yourself with. How long would it take me to read a book? Do you know what? I have a really bad habit of reading like 3 books at once. I read a book in a single evening the other day. So how long is a piece of string? How long does it take me to finish a book? 1 a month throughout the year is happy for me. That's a really cool thing to bring up. I find that one of the biggest barriers to reading in the past, and I'm a good reader, I'm a great writer as well, I've got like a blog and all the rest of it. One of the biggest barriers to reading is trying to retain everything. I don't really read fiction. Fiction you can fly through. Non-fiction, I've found myself a lot of the time reading really slowly, going back, trying to read it again so that I remember. That's not how people learn, by the way. That's not how people retain information. Best thing to do is fly through. If you see something that resonates, read that. Your brain will pick out what you need. You don't need to remember the whole thing. The essence and the spirit of it will remain with you. You just have to trust that. And for what it's worth, what people remember when they're learning is generally, this is a technique that I
Please
use in
go ahead.
coaching. What people remember is something that they've done with high intensity or high emotion.
You're gonna have to, you're gonna have to deep dive into that part now.
Okay. Well, what was the most memorable moments in your life where you can take yourself back and just have the clearest, most vivid of memories where, I don't know, the day you adopted your puppy, when your kid was born, really heightened emotion moments. And when I teach people movement, so really simple movements in the gym, people come in at all different levels.
Mhm.
And even if they're, funny thing I find about dancers is they're such good movers that they've got some gaps missing
Mm.
that they need to like gain some fine motor skills in
Yeah.
like their core engagement or something. So you teach someone a concept, let's say a bicep curl. Someone's never done a bicep curl before. I'm like, I'll take your arm from here to here. They're like, oh my God, wow, that's so new. If I left it there, chances are they'd leave the gym, come back a couple of days later or next week, and I might have to teach them again, and it might take 3 or 4 times. However, if I teach them once and then I get them to do it really, really heavy, or there's amazing music on and we've got this vibe going in the gym, or we're having a big laugh, or I tell them a joke just at the right moment, they remember it. One time, one and done, one and done. Whatever you do with highest intensity or most emotion is most easily retained.
Melody, you're just like a well of knowledge. No, it's a good thing. It's insightful in terms of being someone who actually thirsts for knowledge in a very organic way and uses it to create other people's purposes rather than use it to tear other people down.
Oh, yeah, no, that's sadly a thing, isn't it? Doesn't occur to me. No. Do you know what's really fun? Another gift that I have. You're talking about other people's purposes. Most people don't know. They have no idea what they want. They think they do, but they don't. Not with enough clarity to really get it. One of the things that I'm really, really good at is just having a conversation with a person and asking them the types of questions that help them to introspect, much like therapy, to work out what it is that they want. For example, somebody comes into the gym, they're like, I need to lose 3 stone. I gotta shift this, man. It's gotta go. By yesterday. I need it gone urgently. I'm like, cool, come in, sit down. Let's have a coffee. Coffee and chit chats. It's the magical combination. Coffee and chit chats.
Yeah.
Or a tea, whatever it is. I was like, okay, so what's been going on? When did you start feeling like this? Well, I felt like it for a long time. I'm like, well, it seems very urgent now. What's happening? Have you got is it your wedding coming up? What's going on? You ask enough of these why questions, and you won't get the answer the first time round, maybe not even the second time round, but you drill down deep enough, and it comes down to a core. Usually, it's a core need to be loved or accepted. It's my partner broke up with me and I hate myself. I'm made a joke of in the office and I want to be taken seriously. A lot of the time it's I just had a kid. I'm confronted with my own mortality. I need to get my health in order. I haven't been able to do it for myself, but I just love my kids so much. The answer is always love, funnily enough. So when you help a person connect to that, then you can help them achieve their goals. That's where you start before any of the fancy tips and tricks about how to remember a squat or a bicep curl.
Actually, why is it important for people to know what their purpose is?
Why is it important? I mean, why is it important for me? I can't make it important for me. I need to focus on my damn self. Why is it important for other people? I'm a bit of an existentialist in the sense that it's nice to not need a purpose. If your purpose is just to be on this planet and chill and vibe, love that. Love that for you. Having goals and having something to work towards makes meaning of our time on this planet.
Mm.
I think that's really what the importance is.
Before you go, I'm going to throw some fun rapid questions at you.
This is where I'm going to expose myself.
It's all good. Ready? If you could work anywhere remotely in the world, where would it be and why?
Somewhere sunny with good food so that I can be a healthy bunny.
Do you have a favorite quote, Melody?
Favorite quote? I have a mantra that I come back to in meditation all the time. It's be here now. Be like matter, here, space, now, time. Be here now.
No.
Come back.
What's your favorite cuisine?
Mediterranean. Healthy. It's healthy. It tastes good. It's fresh. It
Yeah.
feels right for my body. I don't really watch TV.
Mm.
I love the film Split. That made me feel some type of way. That was terrifying, but fascinating.
Mhm.
Cool film. Great acting. A recent favorite is a book called Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the author's name, but it's about the All Blacks rugby team. It's not really about them. It's about their mindset and it's wisdom. It's just a book of wisdom.
Yes. If you could give one piece of advice for someone who is about to embark on the various avenues, such as yourself, what would you say?
Fun. Enjoy it. Yeah.
Have fun.
Remain open-minded. Go. Do it
Cool.
now. Don't wait.
Finish the sentence for me. If it wasn't for therapy, I would be.
It offers new perspectives.
Hmm.
It offers new perspectives, new ways of looking at things. It's a platform for exploration where I can experiment with my thinking and, is this a helpful way for me to think? Is that going to work? It's a place for creative thinking rather than this action leads to this outcome, which
Yeah.
is normally the way that I think. I work in health and fitness. I do workout programs and nutritions. It's more abstract, out of the box stuff.
Melody, someone's heard you today. You've given so many gems and so much advice. where can they find you and what's the best way for them to contact you?
Best way for them to contact me. Good question. My website is bodyprojectpt.com. I think the best way for a person to find me is to reach out on Instagram or social media or LinkedIn. LinkedIn's also good. Come in for coffee and chit chats. An extension of what I'm doing now. What avenue I choose to pursue
Hmm.
and which ones I choose to release. Still working that out. One step at a time. I'm open.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, Calvin Anderson. We have had the multifaceted individual that is Miss Melody Coleman. Please take a listen to this episode. Please go and check out her website. Please go and book a session. Please go and speak to this individual because she has so much insight and so much value. Actually, so much worth, because value can change, but her worth is ever growing. Yeah, take care. Speak soon. God bless.